What is up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? What's today? Freaking Tuesday, Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday, yeah. Lost my day today. RC, what's going on? Rugged, Philly, Larry, Jay, what's going on, guys? Make sure you guys slap that like right now before we even start. Let's get it going. And cheers to everybody and happy 4th of... Let me restart this, guys. Happy day prior of 4th of July, right? Rug said he liked it already. Nice. Troy's in the house. What's going on, guys? Welcome, guys. We'll give everybody a few seconds just to jump in, and we're going to dive right into this. But what the hell is going on with the markets today, guys? We're going to cover it. And breaking news, we got Marcos. He said, Puerto Rico's in the house. Hey, what's going on, bro? Did you guys, I know you guys just, well, you didn't get a direct hit, but that hurricane just came right from just south of you guys, right? I think that thing is demolishing, unfortunately, Jamaica right now. That's craziness. Crazy. It feels like it's so early in the season for hurricanes to be that strong. But, Gino, what's going on? Welcome, guys. So let's just jump right into this. So happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys have the day off tomorrow. I know the markets closed early today. The markets will be closed tomorrow, and not our markets, but really the stock market. So just throwing that out there. Be ready, because obviously, you know, that might be a big reason, not a big reason, but part of the reason why we're seeing somewhat of a sell-off today. On top of other things that we have going on, right? We obviously, from what I heard, was Germany. Remember, they seized those Bitcoins. They've continued to start selling again. We have the fear of Mt. Gox, right? All those funds are going to be getting released. We have a holiday tomorrow. The market's going to be closed. A lot of times, pre-holidays, for whatever reason, a lot of people, not a lot, but you'll see a chunk of people position themselves out of the market for whatever reason, right? Crypto doesn't stop. Crypto doesn't sleep, but you know, what we might be seeing is Bitcoin necessarily was selling off. People just basically closing off their ETFs or whatever the case is before the markets are pretty much closed for the next day and a half. So with that being said, guys, let's see. Hillary jumped in here, said, oh yeah, Hillary said, yep, that's my country. Which one? Are you talking about Jamaica or Puerto Rico? I told you guys, we're worldwide. Today we got the Caribbean. A lot of times we have people from across the pond over in Europe, but I think it's 4 o'clock here in Eastern Standard Time, so I would imagine over in Europe it's probably like evening time. Oh, Hillary's from Jamaica. If you're in Jamaica, I hope you're okay. I know you guys are the Jamaica was going to get hit, and they're probably in the process of being hit right now with the hurricane. And I'm no stranger to that. I live in Florida. We've been recently in the last like 10 years, we've dealt with probably like 4 or 5 storms, especially in my area. So definitely, I understand what's going on. I hope everybody makes it out all right. Morgan said it is 22, I think. Is that military time? Oh, and what's going on? What's going on, guys? So let's just jump right into this. So right now, looking at Solana, you guys can see Solana right now is at $140. Honestly, looking very, very juicy. I've been really holding off, trying to just add to my bag. You know, given that we were, or myself, and I remember saying this on the channel, that I was stacking up Solana when we had dropped down towards like 124. Basically, anything below this 128, I started accumulating Solana. You guys remember, and I called this out on previous streams, that I had moved a lot of my Solana over to USDC back here at around 170, and then obviously was buying back in at around 125, 126, somewhere around that area, was picking up Solanas. Now that we have kind of come back down, I am looking to start just basically accumulating more Solana as we move. I haven't really pulled the trigger yet, waiting to see if maybe we're going to come back down to some of these levels, at least sub 137. Right here, we do have the 200-day moving average coming in, and I just realized my ribbons are off from yesterday. But we do have the 200-day moving average right here in the green line coming. That is going to be a big spot, I think, for some support, given that the markets aren't going to be doing some kind of a crazy crash, right? If Bitcoin really does break some of these levels that it's trying to hold, right now Bitcoin is at a pivotal spot that it's bounced twice today. Right here, and we've had these lines here for the last months, if not the last year, 59.6 right here, and you guys can see it is literally bouncing off the lines that we have found as some support / resistance. So you guys know exactly what I say any and every time. If we keep retesting a certain level, whether it's towards the up or towards the down, it eventually will break, right? So the fact that Bitcoin keeps coming back down and retesting this 59.6, I'm going to be honest with you guys, hopefully we can see a nice little bounce and a retracement, but if we keep bouncing and keep testing this 59.6 area, I'm telling you guys, we're going to break it. We're going to break it, and it's not going to be just like we broke this over here, not too, what was this, just basically a week ago we broke it, but it was very short-lived and we came right back up, right? I necessarily am saying if we keep testing this 59.6, it's going to break to the downside, and we're most likely going to find our 200-day moving average, right? We just talked about this for Solana. 200-day moving average is right, not too far from where Solana is at right now. Same thing with Bitcoin. 200-day is not that far. We're talking about 58,400 is technically where the 200-day moving average is, and that's going to be a big pivotal spot. Basically, a big indicator. Is Bitcoin going to bounce off that 200-day, right, and at least hold, or are we gonna bounce and possibly break below the 200-day? You guys know I'm not trying to be bearish whatsoever. Long term, 100% bullish. I don't think that we've even seen anywhere near the top for this cycle whatsoever. But I've showed you guys this. We went over this plenty of times in the last few months on what Bitcoin normally does during bull cycles. And it is not far-fetched to see Bitcoin retrace 20, 30, sometimes even 40% in a bull run, right? And let me tell you, I've told you guys this. When we do go through something like that, because it's happened pretty much every time that we've gone through a bull cycle, it gets bad out here. Everybody's basically running for the hills, right? Everybody's running from the hills. People are selling for losses, saying again that crypto's a scam. You guys know the whole jazz and all this big crybaby stuff, and then eventually, after some time, Bitcoin will recover, and it usually goes to make all-time highs, right? And let's zoom out, because it's like I feel like we have to keep going through this. I feel like I bring this up like once a month whenever we are having bad periods, just so we can kind of give you guys a little hopium and let you know that this has happened plenty of times, right? We go back. I know some people are like, oh my God, Crip again. Yes, we're going to go back because there's people in the back row that aren't listening, or maybe they just need a quick little refresher on what Bitcoin did back in 2021 at basically around this time 2021, right? We came out of 2020, 2021, we ran, everything was great. Bitcoin's going to 100,000. I'm talking about the same exact stuff that we were seeing just a few months ago, right? Bitcoin can't be stopped. This is it. Institutional monies are coming in. You name it. ETFs were even getting thrown out at the time. Obviously, we have that now, but all this was getting thrown out. Bitcoin's running. You can't stop anything. Bitcoin gets up to about 64,000, hits its head, and we start the downward trace, right? We didn't realize it back here. We're like, all right, Bitcoin had dropped went from 64 down to 47, and we were like, oh crap, all right. And then we kind of bounced back up at around 60K, right? And we're like, all right, we're back up and running. Few weeks later, boom, Bitcoin literally, if we can say it crashed, right? Because Bitcoin went from 64,000 technically down to 29K. And if you map it out from the bottom to the top, that was a 55% drop in Bitcoin. If you were here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you weren't, pay attention, turn your volume up, and listen. Bitcoin has done this. It's going to do this. It's actually very common in a bull run for us to see this kind of movement, right? Now, we haven't seen a 55% drop. I'm not saying that we're going to see a 55% drop. What I'm saying is that we could easily drop to some of these levels. Dare I say $40,000? I'm just throwing out a number, but some of those areas we could drop to and still be very bullish in Bitcoin. Yes, altcoins are going to get absolutely destroyed, but it's going to be a brief time, and it could be an epic opportunity for each and every one of us, right? I tell you guys the story all the time. You know how when we dropped, I didn't sell up here because obviously I didn't know this was like my first bull run that I was running in. You know, and when we dropped, I didn't sell, but it was rough. It was rough where I was literally having to talk myself out of just not selling and walking away, right? And something hit me during this period, and I'm talking about when we were in this valley right here. Something hit me to where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep, this is it. I was like, I'm going to just keep just buying in, dollar cost averaging in. I believe long term, and that's what I kept doing. And at the time, I was accumulating Ethereum. I had a Cardano. I already had just sold out of all my Doge. I had been buying Doge at like 2 cents, and we had this massive run up, and I sold out of Doge, and I was buying massive Ethereum at the time, right? I was literally buying like an Ethereum like every like day, every like few days, just picking them up, you know, adding to my bag. Well, you guys can see how the story played out. You know, it was a rough time. If you really take time frame, it was May 10th. When we actually started running up, you can say it was July 21st. And isn't that crazy? Look at the time frames. May to July, guys. Think about this. Now, I'm not a big person on, you know, if it happened before, it's going to happen exactly like that. But what I'm getting to is it's just very similar, right? And you guys always know what they say. History may not repeat itself exactly, but it usually will rhyme. Meaning it might not play out exactly like we saw in 2021, but it's going to be probably pretty similar, right? It's going to be pretty similar. There's going to be similar characteristics that we see in this bull run that we can probably pick and we've seen in 2021. With that being said, be strong. I've told you guys this for the last few weeks, you know, to be ready, possibly reposition yourselves, right? You know, I'm not going to sit there and tell you guys to sell, but I'm going to use words like reposition, stuff like that, because I want you to kind of think about what you got going on. What could you do if we do drop? What do you need to do, right, to get yourself in these positions to possibly take advantage of some kind of a drop that we might see, right? Now, I could be saying all this, and in a week from now, like I always tell you guys, we could be right back up to 70, maybe even breaking all-time highs, right? And then we could just literally erase this from the airwaves, and it didn't happen. But at the same time, I keep focusing on this for the last few weeks because I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to be prepared because I wasn't necessarily during 2021. And if there was somebody on YouTube that was telling me, you know, and you know, you got to take YouTubers with a grain of salt, right? Even myself, you got to, because at the end of the day, we're just going off the charts, you know, and anything can happen, right? But if there would have been somebody that maybe would have been bringing it to my attention, maybe I could have repositioned myself a little bit better and really took advantage and probably tripled what I had down here with the same amount of liquidity, right? So what I'm getting to is, you know, something like this happened in 2021. It wouldn't be far-fetched to say that this could happen easily again, right? And what's crazy too is if you look at the time frame, you know, as far as us coming down here to coming down on our retracement versus 2021, you guys can see, I mean, we did start, I mean, I don't know, you can say that we still were kind of pumping back here in the early June. So time frame's slightly off, but we are in July, and that's around when it was happening in 2021. It was around that May to July part. So time frame might be a little off, numbers might be a little off, but like I said, I think it's going to be something similar, just something like that, to where we could see easily some kind of a dip in the market. But I think it's going to really, it's going to psych a lot of people out. A lot of people are going to sell off. The smart people are going to be buying in on these massive dips and, you know, cashing out when we're in the thick of the bull run. So it's all about what you're going to do, right? That's the only thing I always tell you guys. The only thing you can control, right? We're not whales. We can't manipulate this market. So the only thing that you really can do is try to position yourself properly to where you can maximize your profits, right? So let me jump right in here and see what's going on. Let's see here. So Troy screaming out that NFK. It's what's going on. Yeah, I grabbed a few things today. Hard not to at 6-month lows. Exactly. Yeah, and especially some of these alts. Some of these alts are literally hovering around their 200-day. Some of them are even below their 200-day moving average. In my opinion, definitely good times to be to be accumulating. But at the same time, like, even if I'm buying in on some of these projects, I'm not buying in like, like let's say I have $2,000 to play with. I'm not throwing in $1,500 or $2,000 all at once. I'm slowly dollar cost averaging in so I can get the best price as we move down. So let's see here. Manny, what's going on? BP in the house. What's going on, bro? What is going on, bro? So yeah, so that's just my open, kind of monologue as far as what I think, what the markets, you guys have, I've been telling you guys this, we hadn't broke out, technically, like, to where I was like, all right, we're running back up. Nothing like that. I told you guys we had broke out of the trend, but really at the same time, if you look at the long-term trend that we've been, because this was the trend that we were watching that we had dropped out of, right? But if you really look at the long-term trend, we're technically making lower highs. And this has started off basically this is for Solana, when Solana topped out at $210, right? So with that being said, I'm nothing but happy, honestly. I know it stinks because some of our portfolios are in the red. Some of the things that I've even bought in the last few weeks are in the red technically. But like I said, I'm not throwing all my money into one thing. I'm not throwing all my money that I'm going to be buying on a particular project all at once. So I just keep buying. I keep shopping and just keep adding to the bag, right? It's all we can do, bro. It's all we can do, and broette. Let's check out some crypto bubbles, and oh my gosh, I was so unexpected right here to see this. Just kidding. We already know everything was going to be in the red, right? Everything was going to be in the red for today. We did see the FOMC minutes drop today, right? They came out earlier today. Really a big nothing burger. The FOMC minutes are basically just a recap of what the last FOMC meeting was talked about, the questions, and if they need to redirect. You guys know what I mean. If they need to basically change or critique anything, that was said, they can do that, and that's when the FOMC minutes come out. But it's really just a big nothing burger for today. I think, like I said, we're seeing a sell-off, a continuous sell-off. Short term for right now is because we have the markets closed for today. They're going to be closed for tomorrow. And then when the markets do open up on Friday, we have the unemployment and job reports coming out. That's going to be, I'm not going to say a nothing burger, but it is going to be something that we really want to focus on because we're waiting to see what those numbers come out to, because obviously we want to see unemployment unfortunately go up. That's going to be something that's going to be good as far as the Feds, being confident on reducing interest rates. So thank you. It's redact. I'm like I gave up. I was like, screw it. Sorry, bro. I've already had like 3 twisted teas. So I'm not blaming it on the twisted teas, but I guess it's something I can blame it on. So, but yeah, so bubbles obviously in the red in the hour. Some of them are slowly trying to retrace, but I really don't expect much. For the weekly, you guys can see kind of a mixed bag, but for majority of it, red. Fetch right here is particularly down just because the merge with Singularity and all that good stuff. So this necessarily is down that much because of this big merge that they're having for their projects. Let's see here. Looking at the monthly though, this really tells a picture of what we've been dealing with for the last month. If you really see, I mean, across the board, the monthly does not look good, guys. I mean, these are all alts right here. These are the top 100 alts. I mean, they're down. Other than TON, which I've been telling you guys I'm very bullish on TON for a while now, right? Brett, obviously, he's been killing it. And maybe, a couple little small like Caspa, that's, that we're bullish on as well. Particularly is up 15% for the month. But really, if you look at the whole market as a whole, everything's down 20, 30+%. Some of these are down, like Notcoin, 43%. That's going to be TON's biggest meme coin. Fetch, we already talked about that. ICP down 38%. They don't have no damn merge, right? Fetch at least has a damn merge going on and stuff like that. That's why they're down. ICP is down like crazy. Arbitrum 33% for the month. Ron 40%. I mean, you could go down the damn list. PEPE 33.5%. Floki 42%. Gala 45 freaking percent. This is in the last month. Now, you do have to take into consideration that if you go back a month, we were pumping, right? So if we saw a dump, you know, we came off of a lot of these alts came off of highs or local highs. So when they dumped, they dropped, right? When Bitcoin came down, a lot of these alts really got affected, and you can see on the monthly. But you can click and you look at the yearly, and it still shows you how much some of these projects have freaking gone up. I mean, look at this. Solana 600, Jasmy 500, BONK still holding 5,000%, Floki 500%, Ron 150, Ton 462. I mean, I can sit here for 2 hours probably calling out these crazy freaking percents that you only see in crypto, right? But this is for the yearly, right? And I bring this up because I think you guys really need to take in and grasp how much the market has moved in the last year, right? Now, we have been, and I know some of you guys have been here since the bear market. We have been covering all this stuff since the bear market. And when the bear market was going on, I was screaming, this is the time. This is when we're going to get the money right here, positioning ourselves. So in this last year, I have announced plenty of times I sold out on this, I sold out on that. You know, I do have diamond hands on a lot of stuff, but same time, I tell you guys this, I've learned from past experiences not to be overly greedy, right? With that being said, when I'm up like crazy on certain projects, and I was, right? I had been buying Fetch when it was at 15 cents. I'd have been buying ICP when it was at $3. I was buying in on Milady when it was at the farthest bottom, right? And the list goes on and on and on, right? As far as like stuff that we were covering, then I told you guys I was buying, and I told you guys that I had sold, you know, in the last 6 months. So I didn't catch the top on any one of those, but I still made, you know, my profits on all of them because I had positioned myself when everybody was terrified, when we were in a bear market, and I was just buying, right? So I'm telling you guys from past experience on what works for myself, obviously not financial advice, but what I normally do when we're in times of, you know, fear, right? When there's fear in the market, I'm telling you guys, I light up like a kid in a candy store because I know it's time to shop, right? I know it's time to shop. And trust me, it takes patience, and it takes a lot of, you just like experience, like going through it, having to buy in when everybody's terrified and pushing away all those narratives of the market. Bitcoin's going down to $5,000 and stuff like that, and whatever the hell, because you better believe if Bitcoin does drop down to like, let's just say we get down into the 40s, you know, and like I said, I'm not expecting that as of now, but I'm just saying if we drop down like to the 40s, you better believe your favorite YouTubers and everybody around you that's in crypto is going to be telling you that Bitcoin's going back down to $10,000. It just seems to be the norm for crypto. You know, everybody just like literally runs for the hills and turns bearish within like weeks. So Gina said, "Can you what does it say? Can you check SK Sync? You mean ZK? You mean ZK, girl?" It said having diamond hands is good, but damn it, when you feel damn good about your profit, it's probably time to secure some of it. Exactly, bro. And another thing too is you're always going to get that opportunity, you know, to there's always going to be more opportunities out there, right? Always going to be more opportunities. So that's why I always say, like, you know, if you're up, and especially if you're up, you know, a considerable amount, don't let the greed take over. The greed, when you're up 10x on some projects, the greed's going to be in your head, and it's going to be telling you, if you sell right now, you're going to miss out if this thing goes up even more, right? And that's when you're going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to sell, because that greed's going to take over, and then you end up riding it down, or you end up selling at a lot lower spot than you could have when you were already thinking of selling, right? So that's why, trust me, it's not an easy thing, and it's hard because you have emotions involved, right? You have, you know, a lot of sideways chatter, you know, all around, basically, you know, telling you this and telling you that. Bitcoin's going here. Bitcoin, don't sell. Oh, we're going to zero. It's just, it's craziness, right? but you got to kind of do what you feel, right? And like I said, if you actually have the opportunity and you're up like crazy, don't let that opportunity slip through your hands, because there's always going to be more opportunity out there. Unless it's NFK, then freaking hold that ish to the moon. Just kidding. Okay, Gino was saying, yep, we'll pull that up here in a second. I'll pull that up. So Milady finally broke under $100 million. What is she doing right now? Let's see. Milady is getting to that spot where I'm watching, right? I'm watching. She's not there yet, but she is under her 200-day moving average, and she is getting towards some levels of my buy zones that I've kind of been watching. So pretty much right now what I'm looking for, we've bottomed out. You know, our bottom on these dips has been 12.3 right here, right? So, you know, I'm looking for anything around those areas or below. I told you guys I really am looking for this 10 spot or below. If we can gain a 0 on Milady, I'm going to be shopping. I'm going to get my 100 billion coins back at a fraction of the price that I sold at. Because you guys remember, I was able to sell somewhere up here, right? And I basically had just been kind of waiting to accumulate and get back in. So I'm still, patience is a virtue, and I'm just kind of waiting to see if we're going to maybe drop down. And now I'm not going to be a stickler and be like, oh, if Milady's like down here to this 11, you know, somewhere around there, I'm not going to be like, I'm not buying in yet. No, I'm going to start buying in. But small increments, right? But when we do finally, if we break and we gain that 0 below this 10 mark, that's when I'm going to start buying in heavily, like big amounts, for me to basically stack up and get that that big position again on Milady. So let's see here. So yeah, ZK. So Gino, you know we've been covering ZK. You know we've been covering it, right? We have been covering it. Let's pull it up real quick. Let's see here. For NFK, we're technically down today about 5%, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. We're doing really well on. It looks like, it seems, right? It seems. I don't want to say we have, because someone's watching right now. They're like, you know what? Hold my tea. He thinks we bottomed out. Honey, give me my phone. I'm gonna do a big sale right now. I'm just kidding. No, but it looks like we've pretty much bottomed out for now. Hopefully for NFK. Even if we need to consolidate for a little while, and then I think we're gonna start on our upward trajectory. What happened was you had a lot of people that bought in on this bottom, right? And then obviously we saw this massive run up. You saw people taking profits, right? Now we're almost to that spot where I think we're going to have a lot of people either buying back in, or we're going to see people taking advantage as we consolidate and we start naturally but slowly moving up towards the upside. So, you know, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's happened every freaking time we get into these areas right here, this buy zone, we end up running up, right? I would like slow and steady, but it seems like in NFK fashion, it's balls to the walls, straight to the moon, or we're not going anywhere, right? It's like either we're consolidating, or the next day we're up 5,000%, you know? So it's just never I say there's never a dull moment. Yes, there is dull moments, and then it's just like mayhem, right? Dull moment, and then $100,000 in freaking volume the next day. Like, it's just absolutely insane. But you know what? I'm glad we're here. It's fun, and we're all going to be making some money. We just need to, like I said, we just need to continue what we're doing, and I would love to just see a slow and steady pace towards the upside. Is that too much to ask, right? Is that too much to ask? Sheesh. Troy said, "Can you pull up the link to join? To join what? What are you talking about?" All right, so Gina, ZK, we've been covering this since it dropped. It feels like we've. I'm reading his. So for ZK, we've been covering this since it dropped. Obviously, we saw there was a big airdrop for ZK. So with that being said, and a big pre-sale, I believe we saw a lot of sell pressure, right? And I had told everybody on the channel, this was when we were back over here. I said, listen, guys, it's a day old. I would be very cautious buying in right now. We're most likely going to see a lot of sell pressure, right? And I think if you have a little bit of patience, you might be able to buy in at a fraction of where we're at. At the time, we were at like 22, 24 cents. Well, you can see since then we had come down, bottoming so far at around 15 cents. So right now we are sitting at around 17 cents. I personally think this is a solid project. Obviously, it's its own ecosystem, ZK Sync. It's got its own ecosystem in DeFi. This is the native token that's going to be running, or that already is running on their native, just like Solana is their native project, right? ZK Sync is going to be their native token that's on their exchange and on their platform. So with that being said, right now I don't think is a terrible time to buy in necessarily. With everything that we just talked about the markets, and the markets maybe continuing to see somewhat of a cool off. If you hadn't bought in yet on the project, I personally right now, I say for right now, unless the project is down and out like crazy, then yes, I would be dollar cost averaging in. But given that the project kind of did have a bounce and it's up slightly in the last few days, you might see some kind of a retracement back to a retest this 15 area possibly for this project. And that's given with the sentiment of the whole market, right? You have the whole market that's kind of looking like it wants to come down, right? Continuous downward movement. Right now, I would be kind of just mapping out kind of what we covered in the members only stream this past weekend. We literally, I told everybody, and if you're interested, make sure you guys hit that join. I literally told everybody, this was 2 weeks ago. I said, listen, it feels like we're going to be coming down. It's what the markets look like. I want you guys to come back next week, and I want you guys to give me 5-year projects that you're interested in. Not 5-year projects that you're already bought in, but 5 projects that you're interested in. We're going to dissect each one of these projects, and I'm going to give you my opinion on when is a good time to buy in. And we literally did this during our members only stream for any project that they presented, right? And I was basically, the point of what I was getting to was that we're getting to some of these areas that are it looks good to start dollar cost averaging in. Are we there yet? Some of the projects that we brought up, yes, some of these altcoins have been beat down to shit, right? A lot of them are down below their 200A. I was, dollar cost averaging in on some of these. But if the project technically, and I'm not saying that this is run up like crazy, but you can see that it's slightly up and it looks like it's wanting to start coming back down a little bit, possibly to retest. A project like this, I would probably hold tight and wait to see maybe if we're going to have a little bit of some kind of a retracement, at least closer towards the 15 cent mark for this. You never know. This could come back down and break below the 15 cent Gina, and you might be able to jump in at maybe a 10 cent mark, possibly. So, the market cap is at about 650 million, so it's not a small project whatsoever, right? So this has room, honestly, to move down. This thing could easily move down in a market cap like 400 million, which would be a 30% drop from where it's at technically right now. So, and that's a good question, Gina. Gina asks, would you buy in on ZK or Blast? And that's 2 projects that are pretty much equivalent to each other, right? You have ZK, like I said, that just dropped its ecosystem right now, doing volume right now at about 23 million. Excuse me. And you have Blast, that's relatively new, that's doing about $150 million, right? So let's pull up. If you look, Gina, one thing that I'm looking at right now is if you look at Blast, we already had mapped out a spot, because I think you asked me this during the members only stream, is about Blast, and look at this. It broke below this level that we had marked as some support. It's broke below. So right now, Blast technically is at around $300 million market cap, right? So I'm not going to give out financial advice, but at the same time, if I was interested in this project, it looks juicy right now. It looks juicy, but keep in mind, if we are going to continue to move down in the traditional market, DeFi is going to get affected, and you're going to see DeFi coming down just as fast, if not faster. So that's why, we're at this spot right now where it's kind of like, if you're buying in, just be cautious and maybe not throw everything in at once, right? Dollar cost average in is what I would suggest, not financial advice. So, Rodney, what's going on? What's going on, brother? Let's pull up some articles real quick. Solana on-chain activity soars. Is a price upswing coming? So what's crazy with Solana is Solana, honestly, and this, since this, the last few weeks, Solana's been holding pretty strong, relatively strong compared to like Bitcoin and other projects. And the reason is because obviously there's a lot of talk about a Solana ETF being approved in the near future, right? We've covered this, and I honestly do think that it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a little bit down the road per se. But with any kind of talk about an ETF for any project, it's going to be bullish. So Solana was holding up, and this is what kind of gave Solana, that run up that we saw breaking out of this trend. But since then, like since today, you can see Solana technically is down 8%. Solana never usually drops down in a day that much unless like Bitcoin drops like crazy. Bitcoin's down about 3, almost 4%. Solana's down double that, right? And the reason is because Solana in the last few days has run up a considerable amount. Remember, Solana came from a drop from around $122 and yesterday was trading at around $154. If you do that right there, Solana was up 27% in the last few days. So with that being said, obviously the markets are coming down. Solana has come down a little bit more than what you would expect on a bigger market cap, like Solana, a bigger project like Solana. So let's see here. The article is basically saying that as Solana's price fell, on-chain activity spiked, suggesting strong network fundamentals. Could this be a sign of an imminent rebound? This analyst dives into Solana's on-chain data, explores potential reasons for the price drop in June, and examines upcoming catalysts that could fuel a price spike. And this right here is the reason why we chose to build NoFud Koala NFK, our native token, on Solana, right? I was going between the two. I was like, should we do it on Cronos or should we do it on Solana? I was like, you know what? Solana seems like a better choice given how hype the ecosystem is, right? And I told you guys this 2 weeks ago. NFK was down, right? We were pretty much at the bottom. And I told you guys, I said, listen, this isn't just an NFK thing. Solana was down at around $125 at the time. And I said, when Solana starts running back up, NFK is going to be running back up as well. And that's exactly what we saw, right? That's exactly what we saw. So with that being said, long term, us building on to Solana is going to be nothing but a great thing. It's going to be nothing but a great thing. And I think it's going to bring a massive amount of money, not only to Solana, but to our project, NoFud Koala as well. So key takeaways: Solana experienced significant price fluctuations in June, reaching a high of 175 on June 5th and a low of 124 June 24th, which was the other day. The price ultimately closed at 144 at the end of the month. The filing of spot Solana ETF applications by VanEck on June 27th and 21 shares on June 28th led to a 10% price jump in Solana, reflecting investors' excitement. Daily transaction volume on the Solana network increased by nearly 34% from 32.7 million on June to 43.8 million by June 30th, indicating growing user adoption and network activity. The monthly average of non-vote transactions on Solana reached 915.1 million in June, the highest level in 2 years. Solana captured a significant share, nearly 25% of the DEX market, with a total of DEX trading volume of 38.4 billion in June. So you hear that? Out of all DeFi, every freaking DeFi ecosystem you can think of, Solana is literally 25% of all volume out of all DeFi across the whole space. That right there tells you there's probably over 100 different DeFis, but Solana is literally 25% of anything that's being bought and sold. 25% of it is on the Solana network. Imagine a year from now, just think about it. How much Solana is. I'm telling you guys, and if this was like a year ago when people were saying Solana was going to take out Ethereum, I think you were absolutely nuts. If bringing that back up now, I wouldn't say it's not a far-fetched thing, right? I'm not saying that Solana is going to be taking out Ethereum anytime soon, but Solana could be kind of eye to eye with Ethereum in these next few years as we continue to evolve in the DeFi space. So Solana's foundation enhanced network security by removing operators engaging in sandwich attacks from its delegation program. Solana ranked 4th in NFT sales volume with 68.5 million in June. So that's pretty much what they're giving us is takeaways of why they're thinking that Solana is inevitable to see good price action as we continue, right? Obviously, if the markets are coming down, you're going to see the same thing happening for Solana. But like right now, Bitcoin is literally dumping right now, guys. 59.5. We just broke that pivotal spot of some support. What's Solana doing? Solana right now is technically, still looking, honestly, if you look at the chart, this was because of the ETF news. That's why I was saying you're seeing a little bit more of a downward move as far as because we're coming from such a high that we just formed up 25% in the last 2 days. We're coming down. It says that we're down 8%, right? Well, I mean, if you really look compared to like where Bitcoin is, Bitcoin just looks like it's just continuing its move towards the downside. It doesn't even feel like Bitcoin was just at almost 64K 2 days ago or yesterday, right? So, I mean, Solana, honestly, in my opinion, what I'm saying is Solana's holding pretty strong right now, but it's only inevitable if the markets are going to continue to move down, Solana is going to move down with it, right? So, let's see here. In June 2024, the Solana's native token, SOL, experienced a downward correction. That chart shows some significant fluctuations throughout the month with the high. We already read all that stuff. Why do they repeat themselves? If you look at the yearly chart, though, that they provide, I mean, you guys can see, obviously, I wish that we would have freaking, I wish we would have built NFK back here in the 2023. Yeah, it would have been a rough time, but damn, she would have probably, NFK would probably be like hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap right now, honestly, if we'd have built earlier when Solana was so cheap. But it is what it is. We can't control that. But it just shows you, for the year, Solana's up over 600%, and I think it's going to continue. We do have room to move down a little bit. Like I said, it's to be expected in a bull run. Are you going to take advantage of the dip if we see one, right? And we technically are seeing one. We technically are. So Bitcoin technically, from the bottom that we just formed a few days ago or like a week ago, was around 58.4. We are not far from where that was, right? We're not far at all from where that is. So we're gonna see how this plays out. Honestly, I'm happy about it. I really am. I'm sorry, guys, but I am. I really am. I want to see this thing freaking not crash, but I just want to see it go down because I would love to get some beautiful positions in for there. So let's jump into some political stuff, but disclaimer, because we did get a little bit emotional. Not everybody, but we did get a little emotional last time we covered the debate, right? So I'm going to try to stay as neutral as possible. But we are going to read some of these articles because they're funny and they actually do have something to do with crypto. So remember, we pulled up that website on the odds for all the political stuff, like the odds of somebody winning, the odds of somebody losing, the odds of someone dying, the odds of, they have freaking, you can literally bet on anything, right? So let's see here. So Biden's odds of dropping out surged to almost 80% on Poly Market after New York Times reported. And someone did actually message me in the Discord and tell me, hey, Crip, you guys in the States, you guys can't vote, or I'm sorry, you guys can't bet on Poly Market. And I was like, really, bro? I was like, damn it. I didn't verify myself, but that's what they were telling me. So we'll have to see. Let me know, guys. Have you guys ever like put any bets in for these political stuff or anything like that? Are you able to do it in the States? Let me know in the chat. So a New York Times reporter, let's see here, a New York Times report that President Joe Biden is weighing his future in the 2024 race prompted traders on Poly Market to boost the odds. The Democrat will drop out nearly 80% on Wednesday. That's up 55% earlier. The wild upswing caps a week of mayhem in the Poly Market's Biden dropout of presidential race market, which has garnered nearly 10 million in bets. Before last week's debate with Donald Trump, the same question gave 20% odds. Plenty of Washington Plenty of Washington talking heads have talked down Biden's ability to prevail in the 2024 election against Trump after faltering debate performance put a spotlight on his age. But the New York Times is now reporting that Biden thinks he has a short and slimming window to salvage his prospects. He knows if he has 2 more events like that, we're in a difficult place. Let's see here. They were quoting. A White House spokesman said on X. And that's the end of the article. That's the end of the article. But let's pull that website up real quick. Let's look at the odds. What is this now? It's Poly Market. There it is. Hold on. Here we are. So I don't know if you can actually do these bets in America, but they're pretty freaking, I don't know. It's kind of funny just to see what the hell. So you can see right here, what people are betting on as far as the presidential election, the Democrat nominee. You can see this is what they were talking about. Biden drops out of the presidential race. Biden drops out by July 4th. A lot of people are saying, and there's only a 2% chance it says on here, but a lot of people are saying that because he's supposed to talk tomorrow, but some people are saying that it might be tomorrow if he is going to do it. Will Kamala Harris be the Democratic VP nominee? You can see here, presidential election popular vote winner. And then what's crazy is, like, if you vote, I think it's okay. Let me see here. Let me click into this. Oh, to win, wait, $10 to win $16. Hold on. Oh, you can bet $100 and your buyback, or I'm sorry, not your buyback, but your winnings, you'll win $163. Now, my question is this: if you put 100 in, do you get $263 back, or do you get your 100 and then $63? That's the question. That is the question. But we'll have to see. I've never actually jumped in on any of these bets, so who the hell knows? MeX came in with the is that bird with knife? What's a bird with knife? I'm just kidding. Let's see what Call's been doing. Call's down right now, bro. Let's see. Looky here. Did I not freaking call it? $50 million market cap. I literally, when we were running, I was like, bro, Call loves to stay at around that $50 million market cap is where it, like, usually, you can see anytime we've been around this price action, $50 million market cap is where we're at. So, I mean, it is a stable spot around $50 million. It usually has that support. I guess you could look at it as anything below 50 million or below pretty much this support level at the 61. If you're able to buy in or add to your bag, you would technically be up on Call. So, I mean, I'm looking at a trend possibly here. It looks like it's been making higher lows, though, if you can see. So, I mean, like I always say about Call, long term, bullish. Short term, I'm not going to say bearish, but just, you know what I'm saying, right? The only thing that's doing good is, remember I pulled this up yesterday, MMF. Remember I told you guys it had been, for whatever reason, it got beat down yesterday. I don't know what the hell happened. MMF, from yesterday's drop, it jumped up about 23%. But that's pretty much the only thing that's really up. I mean, this moon flow is up 1%. That's pretty much it. But even Mary's down 7% right now. Kind of hurting. Let's see here. Really nothing's going on Cronos today, guys. Ryoshi, oh my gosh. Whew. Look at Ryoshi, bro. This is the worst too, because at least if it just can fall off a cliff, you know, you can just like move on from it. You're like, whatever. But this damn thing just like, it's going down, but slowly and surely, like a freaking mental bleed, right? So it's like, you're just like, oh my gosh. I'm sure anybody that's bought in on Ryoshi that's holding on to it, it's just like, bro, ready to freaking like go find out who the hell is running Ryoshi. And it's not even their fault. It's just Cronos. It's Cronos, honestly, because Ryoshi was on a nice run briefly. You know, it just wasn't able to really, it got to a certain point, hit its head, and that's that. It never really has been able to recap or anything like that. Looking at Corgi AI down 3%, continuing its downward move as well. I'll get in on some Corgi AI. If we drop down to, we have to gain a 0 and get down to this 60 level, 65. If we get to the 65 or below, I'll buy in on some Corgi. Till then, not doing it. Not going to do it. I want to see something here. What's the volume looking like? So volume for Solana today, 1.65 billion. Ethereum, 1.5. Solana's doing better than Ethereum today. Binance, 6.5 billion. Binance has been absolutely ripping. Arbitrum, $1.3 billion in DeFi. Arbitrum. Who's been telling you guys about Arbitrum? ICP. Look at ICP. Holy crap. I knew they had a DeFi, but I didn't know it was like active. That's pretty cool. Look at this Windoge 98. Windoge 98. That's kind of funny. I told you guys for ICP, bro, I was screaming before all your favorite YouTubers. You guys remember, if you go back a year ago, everybody freaking hated ICP because of how it started off, right? And I was screaming as ICP was down below $5. I was like, this is it. This is a good buy. Not financial advice. I'm stacking up on ICP. And so many people, not really directly to me, but I could get on, you know, if you got on any of the YouTubes, if you brought up ICP, they're like, I am not covering ICP. Literally the same YouTubers, and I'm talking about big YouTubers with freaking million subscribers. People were like, I am not covering ICP. ICP starts running, and I'm telling you, like 2 months later, they're all talking about ICP. I'm just like, bro, you're just like the rest of them. You just have a big following, you know, but you're just like the rest of them. You really are. And that's exactly, you know, I was telling you guys, because if you really just put away the noise on ICP, hear me out. ICP has such, I'm talking about the fundamentals on ICP, the developers, what they have built on this ecosystem. It's still some time away as far as them really meet what I think is ICP is going to be definitely in the top 10. I think ICP could easily squeeze into around the top 5, top 8 per market cap, right? So I'm talking about ICP getting up there with Solana and getting up there, you know, bypassing Cardano and all these other projects, not bypassing Solana per se, but what I'm saying is I think ICP has a lot going for them. They're in the AI space. They're obviously in the DeFi space. They are in NFTs like crazy. Like, I mean, just you name it, gaming. They built so much stuff on their platform that it's crazy. And they're like one of the most decentralized ecosystems that you can find, right? So I always was saying ICP, and now that ICP is getting back down, remember, I had, like I said, we can go back. Can you guys see my buy box on here? Look at the screen. This was my buy box. Like, when was this? October 2023. So not even a year ago. I was like, bro, this is it. I was buying hundreds of ICP at the time, right? Hundreds. And basically, I ran it up to about $10 and I freaking sold. Make the story short, I ran it up to about $10 and I freaking sold. And look at that. I sold myself short. Because look, this thing ended up running up to almost $21. But the point of the story is now that ICP has dropped down to some of these levels, I'm not lying. watch us start covering ICP a little bit more, because I'm going to start buying in, and start dollar cost averaging in on ICP. Even where it's at right now is tempting. It really is tempting, because like I said, I sold at 10, buying back in right now. I'm just getting I'm paying a fraction of what I sold, is how I look at it. So, telling you guys, keep an eye on ICP, and we definitely are. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna start, bringing it up a little bit more, and we're gonna be monitoring a little bit more, because I am very bullish on ICP. I really am. Let's look at the watch list real quick for our typical projects that we look at. PEPE still holding relatively strong. It is down 10% today. Did break below the 236, the 382, and it is coming near that 0.5 fib retracement, but it's already done this a couple times. It has not come all the way down to the 0.5. I would imagine it's going to come to that 0.5 and probably find some support for now, giving, that the markets, we'll see if the markets are going to really hold from there. But let's see here, looking at what else do we have? Jasmy. Whew. Can't believe Jasmy's actually down here. This is another project that we covered during the members only stream. A lot of people were asking me about Jasmy, now that they're interested, because they felt like they missed the boat when we were running, right? Now you guys are getting opportunities to really look and jump in on Jasmy. You can see that Jasmy broke some key levels, and it's right now below that 2.5 cent mark. What is Jasmy's market cap? Because I am interested. 1.2 billion. So getting down there. What's ICP's market cap? Almost 3.5 billion. All right. So when I was buying it on ICP, it was under $1 billion. I remember that. So ICP looking juicy, honestly, right now, guys. I'm telling you, if you're not happy right now, I don't know. I mean, I understand your portfolio might be in the red, but to some of us, we're like, yes, we're sitting here just like, it's time. It's almost time. It's almost time. It's almost time to just start buying in and start just accumulating, right? BONK down 14 freaking percent. Look at MYRO. Down 11. It's down 17% to 11 cents. Ooh, this right here. Remember, guys, I don't mean to keep referring to this, but this is what we were covering in our members only stream, and I was telling everybody, just have patience. We're getting to that point where these are looking real juicy to start jumping in on. MYRO, I told them in the members only stream, I'll give you guys the sauce too, is that I'm looking at anything under 10.6 cents. This key level that we have that we've bounced off multiple times. Anything below this 10.6 cents is what I'm looking for to start buying in on MYRO. I told you, I'm literally like a kid in a candy shop. Mom just told me, listen, Crip, you could basically go buy whatever you want. Here, you have a big bag. Just go get whatever you want. Everything, you just grab whatever you want. And I'm walking through the candy store right now, and I'm just like, I'm just looking at all these projects, and I'm like, ooh, I want a little bit of you. I want a lot of that. Give me some of that. Put that on the check right there. That's pretty much where I'm at right now with a lot of these projects. So Arbitrum's at 75 cents. Let's see here. What did I tell you guys in the members? Keep saying it, but we covered this in the members only. That I was looking at anything under this 74 cents. Look where it keeps bouncing, right at this key level that we've had. That's crazy. I love to come back to a lot of these projects and have already a spot that's marked for some support or resistance. And I've showed everybody how we do this in the members only stream, how I find these areas, how I find these lines. This is so it's going to make your choices whenever you're buying in or selling a lot easier. Having logic behind your buys or sales is finding these support resistance levels, using some of the other indicators that I use, like these the moving average ribbons, fib retracements, all that stuff we cover in the members only stream to make us a better trader. So make sure you guys hit that join. We have member only streams every weekend. Every weekend we have members only streams. So Rug said, who's running Ryoshi? My boy is still holding on to that Ryoshi. He's like, who is it? But yeah, man, there's sales everywhere. It's a fire sale right now. It really is. It's a fire sale right now, and I hope you guys honestly do take advantage of it, because I definitely am myself. I really am. So I'm just kind of, now that we've gone through the stream and I'm like looking at, there's a lot of things that I'm looking at that I'm like, whew, I want to buy in or buy back in. ICP is probably going to be one of those that I'm looking at. So we'll see. And I'll keep you guys up to date, especially on our members only stream. We'll be covering my plays and all that good stuff as well. So make sure you guys hit that join button and become a member. Plus you get cool emojis, right? Look at this cool emoji that we have here. It's freaking Biden eating. He's got Biden with 2 ice cream cones. Koktoshi in the shadows. What's going on, bro? What is going on? He said DCA every hour. Okay. I could agree with that. Gino, what's going on with Win? Remember yesterday you were asking me, Gina, remember you were asking me, I said, remember, I was telling you, possibly have some patience. We might be coming back down towards this level or somewhere close to it. And it looks like you might actually get that opportunity. What is Win? A Win's on is Solana. Let me see something here. Win's only on Orca and oh, it's on Radium, right? Yeah, it's on Radium. That's weird though, like the liquidity is really low on here on Radium. You know, fun fact, you can't trade Orca. You can't trade Orca swap in the States. Isn't that crazy? You can't freaking trade Orca in the States. So we have to use Radium or Jupiter. Gina said, I will add more when. You're going to add more when what? When are you going to do it? You said you didn't finish your statement. You said I will add more when we get to what? Like, are you waiting for a certain level? You're going to add more when. That's right. That's right, guys. I was told that my jokes were corny and that I'm not supposed to. Someone came in here and literally said, Crip, bro, your jokes are corny, bro. Just stop. I was like, all right, man. That's right. So I got to stop. Forgot. But every time Gina asks about when, it's going to be hard. So I don't know when I'll be able to stop throwing out those jokes. You know what I'm saying? Ay. Yeah, so, you know, tomorrow is the 4th of July. In the States, we are going to have a stream, obviously, tomorrow. It's going to be earlier, you know, probably around this time that we started today. I'm not expecting too much. Like I said, guys, you know, you can keep waiting for the dip. You guys can keep, you can start dollar cost averaging in. I personally think that I am going to start dollar cost averaging in on some of these particular projects, even though in my gut, I feel like it's not necessarily the bottom yet. I just feel like, you know, if we do have that chance where this could be our bottom and we do bounce, I want to start getting in on some good positions, right? I feel like a lot of these altcoins have been beat down like crazy. You know, I've been waiting. Now they're at some of these levels where I've been kind of looking for. I want to take advantage of it, right? I want to take advantage of it. And my strategy will be basically just slowly but surely dollar cost averaging in. I'm not going to just jump in on ICP and just start throwing massive amount of money at it, given that there's a big chance that it can continue to move down, and I'll be able to just continue to get better prices, right? So that's pretty much going to be my strategy for now, guys. But as like I said, you know, given everything that we have going on, I'm not expecting the markets to really go crazy or start rallying much. Anything can change, right? like I said, this is crypto. We could be heading down, and then, you know, a few hours later, Bitcoin makes a V-shaped recovery and we start running up. So, you know, that's the fun and the joys of crypto, right? But for now, and you can see we have found some support at the 59.6 area. You guys can see we technically came down and bounced. So not a bad move right there. What I keep telling you guys though is particularly what is bearish to me is that we keep coming. This is the second time pretty much that we have tested it. We did break below, but this was brief. We came back, retested it. I'm thinking that if we keep hanging around this area, we're going to probably break down. The next level for some support is going to be for Bitcoin. We have the 200-day moving average right here. That's going to be around 58, 58.3, somewhere around there. Or we have a pivotal spot that's going to be around 57.9, basically around that 58,000 level. That's going to be the next spot for some massive support. So if we do break below, or we keep retesting this 59.6, I'm anticipating that we're going to continue to move down, and those are going to be the next levels for Bitcoin. For Solana, if Bitcoin does that, our next levels for Solana are going to be 37.50. Our 200 days is going to be under that at around 35. And then if worse comes to worse, like we've already seen before, we'll be coming down to 128, and then under to 128, it's going to be 117 is going to be another spot. And remember, if you guys are ever, we're not streaming, you can come back to the stream and literally screenshot these. You can see the numbers, so you can kind of mimic these levels and put them on your charts. And then also you can join our members only stream, and I will literally show you how I come about finding these support levels and resistance levels, so it can make you a better trader. So you don't have to go and screenshot any of this stuff, and you can actually, you know, generate a chart on your own, right? Because that's what it's all about, making you a better trader. So it said it's going to bounce at 57. You think 57? Possibly. I mean, that would be a big spot right there, because if you really look, we haven't come back and retested our 200-day moving average since the last time we've tested the 200-day moving average was back in October 2023, and that was actually the kickstart of the official bull run, right? So the fact that we could be coming close and actually retesting that, like I said, and if that's the drop, right? If that's the drop compared to 2021, guys, we have a massive run in front of us, right? That's that drop right there would be pennies compared to what we saw in 2021. So that could be a beautiful spot, honestly, that Bitcoin could come down, find that support around that 58,000 area, and then, you know, us basically find that support and start running back up towards those 60, 70, and 80 plus $1,000, you know, zones that we know Bitcoin's going to eventually get to. So Gina said, just got to keep your eye on the market to buy in red. Exactly, right? Because you know it always happens, right? When you're not looking, Bitcoin will just go like drop down real fast, and then it'll go right back up, and you're like, what the you know, like, what the hell? It does that always for these, like, especially like Milady will do that. We'll drop down to like my levels, but it will be like for like 10 seconds, and then it's right back up 40%, you know, move. I'm like, bro, what the how the and you're wondering how people take advantage of it. Well, they have buy orders in. They put buy orders in, so if they get to those levels, it just activates their buy orders. But I don't like doing that, because like on crypto.com, when you do a buy order, let's say you do a buy order for $1,000, they actually take the $1,000 and hold on to it. And I'm like, nah, bruh. The money's sitting here. The buy order's right there. Just take it out of the account when it gets there. But they're like, no, we want to hold on to your money while you're it could possibly get there or not. You could just, we're gonna hold on to it. And I'm like, nah, dude, it ain't happening. I'll just keep an eye on the charts then. I don't need you holding on to my money. So, but guys, that's pretty much it. Guys. Make sure you guys on your way out, hit those likes, hit the subscribe, think about becoming a member. We will have our members only stream this weekend. Other than that, guys, I thank you guys again. Another beautiful stream. Tomorrow, 4th of July, holiday, we will be streaming here. I might be slurring my words a little bit, because I'm sure I'm going to be like 5 T's deep at the time. You know, maybe a little bit darker shade because I'm going to be out by the pool and stuff like that. But my daughter right now is out at the beach without me, you know. If she's watching, she's out at the beach. She's trying to get a tan darker than I am. But I told her, I said, I gave you this tan. You can't be darker than me, right? It's not possible. But you know how it goes. You know how these young kids are, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you. Have a safe night. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be in the Discord. Other than that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? See ya.